to the first show that I have put on. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate everybody who has came out, and man, this is exciting times, and I'm very excited to bring you topics of sports. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So today basically we have a lot of good topics going on. So today we're gonna it's pretty much gonna be a big time basketball show. Since basketball is really kind of getting more into the forefront. It's the first major sport I think in the U.S. that's in the forefront. So basically today is going to be a basketball show, a great discussion on a couple of good things about restarting the NBA and also players going into college. And so we're going to definitely dive into that, and hopefully we can have great discussion, great topics and everything. So yeah, like I said, I appreciate everybody who came out. So let's begin. So our first topic we are going to go ahead and talk about is, should high school players consider the NBA? The NBA. Of course, they want to get in the NBA, but into HBCU schools. And so lately, about the past couple of weeks, players have been considering, high school recruits have been considering joining HBCUs, and so to begin with, Mikey Williams, he's a 2023 class, and he has been in talks about entering a HBCU during these wild times of George Floyd's death. And it's been on the minds of many players thinking about going to HBCU colleges and really trying to focus on getting that education, getting that experience. So basically, he's been in talks about joining HBCU. His mother was a HBCU graduate, so of course, him following in the footsteps of his mother would be big for him. And with him being as a high recruit as he is, he's definitely going to be a 5-star recruit when he gets to his senior year. And by far, it's going to be top colleges all across the world trying to recruit him and get him to this school. Of course, you know, the Dukes, the Kansas, the Kentuckys, the top school is going to really go after him and push him, but he has been considering joining an HBCU. And I think with his commitment to that, if he actually does go to an HBCU, I think it will begin a domino effect of many different high school recruits trying to join HBCU schools. And let's be real. Honestly, if you're talented enough, you're going to get into the NBA, no matter what school you go to. So I'm just saying, why not? Why not have that 1 year of going to an HBCU and really getting that experience? You go there, you play your 1 year, you go to the NBA. Like I said, there's going to be recruits. There's going to be scouts, NBA scouts, no matter what. And they know his stature as right now as a high school player. He's one of the top high school players, only going into his sophomore season, I believe. And it's going to be interesting to see what these top schools try to do to get him to go to their school. Of course, we all know the Dukes and the Kansases of the world has a top basketball team. They can provide him with the best facilities, the best training, the best everything. But I mean, getting that HBCU experience is just like none other. to be honest with you, it's an experience of a lifetime. Just his 1 year there is going to be magical. It's going to be amazing. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that recruiting process happens. I'm pretty sure everybody from each HBCU is going to recruit him now that he had said that he's considering HBCU. So it's going to be interesting to see how that recruiting process is for him. And with that, actually, there's a recruit now that has actually committed to play at an HBCU next year. His name is Nate Tarver. He is from Connecticut, and he was an original recruit of St. John's out there in New York, and he committed, but then he decommitted not too long ago, and he currently committed to Norfolk State University in Norfolk, Virginia. And I'm saying this is it. He's a 4-star recruit, small forward, and this is it. I mean, Mikey Williams have definitely opened the floodgate to this HBCU school. It's going to be amazing to see how many other kids think about going this route, and it's going to be amazing to see how many more children do that. Now, I might be pushing it a little bit here, but think about this. LeBron James Jr., LeBron's son, who's currently going to his sophomore year this year at Sierra Canyon out here in California. LeBron James has been a huge advocate in the African American community. He's well known. We known about his commitment to making African American community better. Now, of course, back in his day, you can just go from high school to the pros without no problems. Now you have to do 1 year at least in college, right? Think about it. Now that this is a topic, this is a real thing now. LeBron James Jr. going to a black college at HBCU, that would blow the roof off of everything. I mean, this is LeBron James' son. Like this man's the best basketball player and has been for the past decade and a half. So just imagining his son going to something like that, getting that HBCU experience, that in itself would be amazing. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened, like at all. I'm pretty sure if LeBron had his choice and go back to college, he would probably go to HBCU. I'm pretty sure he would. I mean, of course, I can't speak for the man, but I mean, why not? If you can go from high school to pros and start making millions of dollars, do you? There's nothing wrong with that. But now, when you have to do your 1 year going to school and then jumping to the pros, this could happen. I wouldn't be surprised. I would love it. This would be it. But yeah, people like Nate Tarver and Mikey Williams who really talked about this is what I think HBCUs need. Now we know HBCUs they aren't as in the spotlight as most colleges are, especially in big markets. ESPN might show a game or two, every other week. But now seeing bigger recruits going to these HBCU colleges will put these colleges on a bigger spotlight so it can reach out to a more broad audience, to where other athletes will really think and consider about joining HBCUs. And this is good. I think this generation is really, the stepping stone of making that happen. And, people who has been to HBCUs can tell you firsthand that experience is excellent. And no matter what, they're going to find you. Scouts is going to find you no matter what school you go to. They're going to see your talents, and no matter what school you go to, and they're going to recruit you. They're going to scout you. They're going to draft you. And just imagine hearing the first pick out of an HBCU in the draft lottery. That will be absolutely amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. So it's going to be interesting to see between now and 4 years from now to see what Mikey Williams' decision to do for his next basketball journey, because he's going to be a 5-star recruit. He's already crazy on the court right now. So I seen highlights of him. Man, he's a leaper. He can jump out the gym. And, once he develop his game, because he still has another 3 years to develop his game in high school. Once he, grows a little bit more, he get into his game a little bit better. He goes to that HBCU, become maybe the first pick in the draft lottery. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So I'm excited to see what happens in the next couple of years, to see how these high school recruits coming out of different colleges, to see what route they take, if they take the HBCU route or they take the the traditional route, going to one of those big colleges, the Dukes of the world, and continuing his journey there. So if you have a comment or anything, you can go ahead and comment right there. I can highlight your comment, anything you want to talk about. We can discuss anything you please. If you feel like Mikey Williams' choice will be amazing, we can go ahead and talk about it, and then we can go ahead and get that going. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue on to the NBA and their return on July 30th, and it's a real thing. This is happening. We've been waiting for this for a long time. I know I'm excited. I know everybody else is excited to really see the restart of the season. So basically what's going to happen in the season is, with the NBA returning, I have my notes right here. It's about 13 teams in the West, because we kind of all know about the West. They're a little bit more competitive than the East. So there's still a lot of teams in competition for that 8th seed, which is controlled by Memphis right now. The Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant is an absolute beast coming out of Murray State. I think we all saw that coming. He was excellent his last year at Murray State. It just transitioned into the NBA. I think his game developed a little bit better because people questioned his shooting when he came out of college, but he can shoot. He can shoot. He can get to the basket. And just, going into the NBA, once you start learning a little bit more, he's going to be an amazing pro. So like I said, Memphis is holding down the 8th spot. Portland is right there. Of course, New Orleans is coming on strong right now because Zion Williamson is an absolute monster. That man is an athletic freak. He's strong as heck. And it makes no sense how he's a rookie doing all of this right now against grown men who's been playing in the NBA for about 13, 14 years. And they know the ins and outs of the league. So Zion is amazing. Him and Lonzo has been a great addition to for each other. They complement each other very well. So like I said, 13 teams in the West. And also there are 9 teams in the East. So we can obviously tell the East is kind of set in stone right now. Orlando is holding down that 8th spot right now. And also the 7th seed is still up for grabs. And so what they have going on right now is they have 8 playing games to determine the last couple of seedings, of course, in the East, because the East is still up for grabs, and the West. So we can tell the West teams, they're going to be weeded out pretty quick. Teams who's basically kind of the outside looking in. But so basically they're going to determine that. So if I'm saying this correctly, they're going to have a playing game with the 8th and 9th seed. So with these these playing games, they're going to determine if whoever's the 8th and 9th seed, they're going to play each other twice. Now, if the 8th seed wins, then the 9th seed is automatically out. So they basically have who they have in the playoffs, right? So it's 8 playing games. And then right after that, they're going straight into the season without wasting any time, just going right in, right? So we're going to see who's exactly going to be the freshest team in the NBA. Now, think about this. I mean, you're already in the playoffs. You really don't need to play your top players because, I mean, you're in, unless you're trying to get the right seedings, right positioning, so you don't have to play certain teams. And so the top teams, they basically don't have to play their top players. Of course, the Lakers don't have to play LeBron James or Anthony Davis or anything like that. The Clippers doesn't have to push Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. Milwaukee doesn't have to put Giannis out there. I mean, they're in the playoffs. They're basically set in stone. They have their positioning. They're number one. They're right there. But, lower teams, basically like Dallas, Houston, Denver, of course, Brooklyn, Boston, Philly, and Miami. Those teams who want to get that they're playing in Orlando, so it's no more home court advantage. How's that going to play in the NBA? That's going to be very different. That home court advantage in the NBA playoffs are humongous. So now they don't have that advantage. Top teams who basically get to play in their home court. Games 1 and 2. Then if you make it to a 7-game series, you play at home. The crowd's going crazy. You get that momentum on your side. It's going to be different. It is going to be different. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams really play out. Now, like I was saying, we was trying to figure out who's the freshest teams going into the NBA. So let's look at it like this, right? So let's begin with Milwaukee. Milwaukee is I wouldn't say they're an older team. On the back end, they may have older players. Brook Lopez is not as young as he used to be. And, of course, Robin Lopez is not young as he used to be. But when you have the Greek freak on your team, I don't think any of that matters because that man is a physical specimen. He is tall. He's big, man. You can't go wrong when you had a Greek freak on your team. He's the MVP for a reason, and it's looking like he's going to be the MVP this year again. Because I mean, what else can you do? He has the top team in the NBA. He's playing amazing. His stats seem to grow every year, and it's just something in this game that he's practicing and is getting better at. I mean, the past when he came into the league, he couldn't shoot. Now you have to respect his range. It's now you have to respect it, and of course he can get to the rim with ease. He can take 2 steps and get to the rim. So it's looking like he's the MVP. But with Milwaukee, they have a lot of veteran players on their team, so they know how to keep their body right and really, work out, keep their body right, eat right. And then when they come back into the league, it's going to be tough because they have to get back in game shape. And of course, that could take up to a month. So teams are going to be rusty, but I don't see much of a fall off when the NBA season restarts for the Bucks. I think they're still going to be a great team. They're still going to win games. They're going to go deep into the playoffs, and maybe they get over the hump this year. Last year it was tough for them losing to Toronto, and I think they have a redemption season going on right here, and I think this is their time to really make it into the NBA Finals. So I believe Milwaukee's going to be okay going into the NBA season restart. Then we're going to also talk about the West number one team, which was the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, you can't go wrong. We have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on your team. Two of the top 10 players in the NBA, both on the same team. So they're going to come back fresh. We already know LeBron James, how he keeps his body right all throughout the season. So even with this time of no sports, he's still going to be ready. Of course, Anthony Davis is going to be ready to go. He's one of the most dominant power forwards the league has ever seen. I believe he's the best power forward in the game right now. And those two together are an amazing duo. And we've seen it from the start. It was meant to be. Anthony Davis and LeBron James together. We all knew the Lakers was coming out for that number one spot in the West. And the West is always so competitive. Always competitive. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. But we have to think about who's going to step up other than LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the playoffs. Now, of course, Danny Green, he's been kind of hot and cold in the season. One day he's amazing. The next day he's not all the way there. Is he going to be that third person? Kyle Kuzma. He's another player that's always hot and cold. You never know what you might get out of him, and we have to see how his development is going to happen during this time that there's no NBA games being played. Of course, we all know about the classic playoff Rondo and how he turns on the switch when the NBA playoffs are happening and the lights are brightest. So are we going to get that playoff Rondo now? He's a little bit older. He's never been a scorer in the league. He's always one of those people who gets his shot. He creates his shot. And he's get like weird buckets. And of course, defensively, he's not the same. He's a little bit older. He's a step slower. But I mean, like I said, playoff Rondo, that's a different man. We seen back in the day when in New Orleans when Rajon Rondo and Anthony Davis were both teammates, and they swept Portland easy. So can we get that same push out of them? So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. And like I said, if you want to comment on anything that you want to say, go ahead, put it down there, and we can show it on the screen. We can have a good discussion about it, and by all means, let me know. So let's talk about the Clippers. Now, we all know about Kawhi Leonard. It's been a lot of load management. There was a lot of times he was sitting out back-to-backs to rest, and without Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers are not that great of a team to me. Kawhi Leonard is the glue that makes that team. That man defensively is absolutely amazing. He's one of the best defenders in the league. He can create his own shots. And I'm be honest, this might be crazy for me to say. He's the closest thing to Kobe during this time in NBA as I've ever seen. Man may not talk a lot like Kobe. He may not have that, expressive feel, because when Kobe was on, he was on. He was a killer on the court. Kawhi is just calm. He's just calm demeanor throughout the whole game. And when he gets on the court, he's a different man. And the reason why I say he's the closest thing to Kobe is because just look at his game. It's a lot of times where he's creating a lot of his own shots, getting to kind of the paint area, the free throw line, and shot creating and getting his shots off, no matter where he's on the floor. And you can see that with Kobe. Kobe had that one back down move, spin, turnaround jumper. Definitely Kawhi does that now. And it was funny. Kawhi coming out of college, he couldn't shoot like that. He wasn't a great free throw shooter. But now, man, Kawhi has put all that together. And he has become an amazing scorer. So seeing what the Clippers need Kawhi Leonard. I'm sorry. They need that man. And they need him to be healthy, but they don't play him in back-to-backs. Now, with the restart of the season, they're going to have a lot of games going on in a small amount of time. So are they going to rest Kawhi Leonard for a majority of the time and let the Clippers go by themselves? Now, don't get me wrong. Paul George is on the team, and Paul George is a superstar. Do not get me wrong. Paul George is a superstar. But I don't think they have what it takes to really win without Kawhi Leonard. It's going to take a lot more than Paul George. Now, that's a great defensive team, man, with the Clippers, and they can get after it on defense. On the offensive side, it's tough. Like, think about it. Paul George can score, right? We all know Paul George can score. Who else you have? Lou Williams coming off the bench. He can score. He can create his own shots. He gets to the hole very well. He's got a great mid-range game. He causes fouls a lot. He sells fouls all the time and gets them to the free throw line. But after that, who else can really get buckets on that team? Think about it. Montrezl Harrell, he's kind of undersized. He gets bullied a little bit. I mean, his motor is high. That I give him credit for. He plays hard every time he's on the floor. So, but I wouldn't trust Montrezl Harrell to really give you 15, 16 points all the time. I don't see that. Patrick Beverley, we all know he's on the Clippers for, to play defense and get under the skin of top players. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Clippers play during the restart of this season. There's a lot of games going on, and Kawhi doesn't play a lot of games all the time. So I don't really see them going too far. But let's think about the other teams as well. We have Denver. Denver's such a weird team to me. I don't really understand Denver. It's like they're really good at some points of the season, and then they really play bad at some points of the season as well. I think the duo of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic is a very good duo. Those are two very good players that can really score. I think Jokic is one of the top centers in the NBA. And now with him getting more in shape, it's going to help him in the playoffs. He can stay on the floor, really help the team, get good baskets, play excellent defense. And Jamal Murray, he can create his own shot. He can shoot. It's going to be interesting to see how Denver. Now Denver's really good at home. Denver's really good at home. That Mile High altitude is crazy. It's kind of hard trying to play in that climate. But when you get them outside of Denver, man, are they going to be okay? Think about it. It's tough in Denver. It's tough outside of Denver. Excuse me. That's what I meant to say. And I don't think that they have what it takes to really get over that hump. I could be wrong. Denver had a great run last year. I could be wrong. So let's think about a couple of East teams. We all know Milwaukee, like I said, they're going to be okay. Toronto. Let's be real. Let's be real. Toronto is a humongous surprise this year. I think this is a surprise team. I think Nick Nurse needs to be coach of the year. Let's be real. Nobody thought Toronto would be in the second spot without Kawhi Leonard. Excuse me. Without Kawhi Leonard. They just balled this year, man. Kyle Lowry balled. Excuse me. Kyle Lowry balled out. Pascal Siakam really took another leap of faith. No, I mean he's becoming a superstar right under our eyes, and nobody pays attention to them because they do play in Toronto. And like, who really thinks about Toronto? Ever since Kawhi Leonard left, nobody's like, oh, I gotta check on Toronto, see what they're doing, right? They was under the radar this year. I can't remember how long they had about at least a 15-game winning streak, and nobody knew it. I was sitting here like watching ESPN, and I'm like, wow. So they had a 16-game winning streak, and I even know nobody was paying attention to Toronto, and they just quietly just rolled into that second seed, and it's been a shock. Now, do I think that they have enough firepower to beat Milwaukee this year? No, I do not. Milwaukee is amazing. They play amazing defense. They can score. I just do not think Toronto has what it takes. And we have to see what Kyle Lowry does this year, because we know when Kyle Lowry gets into the playoffs, he turns into another human. I don't know exactly what happens when Kyle Lowry gets to the playoffs, but oh my God, it's bad. It's really bad. So we're gonna see how Kyle Lowry does this year. So let's continue on. I mean, we have Boston. Boston's another team who was good. They're consistently good, man. Brad Stevens is a great coach. He gets the best out of his players, and also Jason Tatum becoming an excellent all-around player. He's really shown to be a top superstar in this league. You can see in his play. He's really becoming that player I think people really thought he would be. And so we're going to see a big payday from Jason Tatum. Boston's a very tough team, man, to beat. They play excellent defense. Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker is a excellent point guard. He's filled in the role for Kyrie Irving, him moving on to Brooklyn very well. Very well. So I'm excited to see what Boston does. And then let's talk about Philly. Philly was an injury-ridden team. Man, injuries plague Philly, and that's been an MO for Philly. Philly, for some reason, they have bad injuries out there. So, I mean, before the season started, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid was both hurt. They were both hurt. So Philly was trying to find players just to play for them. They was like, look, we'll find the closest dude off the street to play for Philly at this point, because everybody was hurt on that team. Oh my gosh. So Philly is an interesting team to look out for. So when they come back, Ben Simmons is back, Joel Embiid is back, Tobias Harris will be there. It's hey, Philly might be under the radar. I think that's going to be a tough team going in the playoffs. You got to look out for Philly. We have to look out for Philly. So, with all this said and done, let's go ahead and talk about some predictions for the NBA, for the NBA playoffs. Let's do it, right? I know it's a little early. We gotta figure out the seedings in the playoffs and everything. But why not? Let's go ahead and jump the gun a little bit. So let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. And like I said, if you want to go ahead and comment, this is a perfect time. This is a perfect time to let me know. So let me go ahead and see if I got a pencil around close to anything. I guess not. So let me go ahead and grab one of these good pens here. Perfect. Let's see if it works. Oh, wait, that is not a good one. Got a pen right here. That does not want to work. Let me grab another one. That does not want to work, so none of my pens work. That's crazy. I guess I'll use a pencil. All right, so let's begin. So with the first round we have going on here, and let me go ahead and pull up the NBA bracket as of right now, so we can talk about who's where right now. So yeah, man, we gotta talk about this. It's like I said, I know it's early, but we gonna make it work. We are going to make it work. So let's begin. So we have the first round. Let's start with the West. We're going to go ahead and start with the Lakers and Memphis. The Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Los Angeles Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies. So Memphis is a tough team. Like I said, they play hard. And going into the NBA playoffs, what do they have to lose, right? They have nothing to lose. They're going to play hard. But I don't think they have the firepower to beat the Lakers. You have to play playoff LeBron James. Oh my absolute goodness. Who in their right minds wants to do that, right? LeBron James, we seen what type of time LeBron was on before the season ended. He was balling. He played Philly, like I said, Philly was hurt, right? Philly was hurt. We can give it out a mulligan. He played Milwaukee, absolutely locked down Giannis. Put the straps on him. It was bad for Giannis. He couldn't get nothing going on. And then he played the Clippers, going absolutely crazy, to the point Patrick Beverley had to make the craziest comments, talk about, oh, it's no problem guarding LeBron James. He was going nuts, all right? Nuts. So that switch is going to flip in the playoffs. And I don't think there's anybody who can stop LeBron James on a Memphis team. I think Ja Morant's going to get off. He's going to have a good series that year. That playoff series. But I'm going to go ahead and give the Lakers and Houston series 4-1 Lakers. I'll give Memphis the third game. They're going to be inspired to play well in their home court that first game. But that second game, I think Lakers going to settle down. They're going to know what's going on. And after that, when they go back to Los Angeles for that fifth game, it's going to be wraps. So Lakers win the first two games. Memphis get the third. Lakers get the fourth and the fifth game. So there you go, 4-1. Like I said, we can debate. We can debate. It's my opinion. We could, but if you have your own opinion, please comment below, and we will definitely talk about it. So let's continue on. So the 2 and 7 seed, we have the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. Let me tell you something, guys. This is going to be an underrated series, first round. Let's talk about Dallas. Luka Doncic. That man in his second season putting up triple doubles nearly every game is absolutely amazing. It's like nobody can stop him. He's putting up triple doubles every game. He's going to play his hardest, his first playoff series. Now, man, Mavs don't really have much more other than Luka Doncic. That man is making that team go. But then we have the Clippers, lockdown defenders, every position on that team. It's like pick your poison. Paul George can guard Luka Doncic. Kawhi can guard Luka Doncic. And then you can possibly put Patrick Beverley. You know, Patrick Beverley loves guarding big dudes. So you never know, right? So the Clippers is going to win. Let's be real. The Clippers is going to win this game, this series. But I say it's going 6 games. I'm gonna go ahead and give 4-2 Clippers. It's going to be a tough series. Going to be a real tough series here. I'm excited to watch that series. I'm excited to really watch that series. So let's continue on, right? And I keep forgetting, excuse me, it's in Orlando. No home court advantage. It could be a different story for everybody. So guys gotta remind me. I'm so used to having home court advantage and really, looking into that. That home court advantage is a big deal. So let's continue on. So we have the 3 versus 6 series, which is the Denver Nuggets and the Houston Rockets. This is going to be another interesting series. These dudes have similar play styles. A lot of pick and roll, a lot of shooting off the dribble. And it's a lot of that. But, I think when you have James Harden on your team and you get that scoring for that man, it's going to be a tough series for Denver. Now, Houston's an interesting team. Now they got rid of Clint Capella. They traded him to Atlanta. They're a really small team. It's a really small team there in Houston. So can anybody stop Jokic? That's going to be the question. Now with that and no home court advantage for either team, I'm gonna go ahead and have to give Denver maybe a 4-3, 4-3 7-game series. 7-game series for that. So that's going to be a great series. I think Denver pulls that one out. So let's continue on. I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. I'm trying to end it at 1. So Utah, Oklahoma City. Now, Oklahoma City is another surprise team. I think nobody saw this coming. Chris Paul has been an amazing player for Oklahoma City, man. You cannot doubt Chris Paul. He's been putting on for that team. It's been amazing what Oklahoma City has done this year. Utah's going to be interesting, man. We're going to have to see how that chemistry works because Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell has not been on good terms ever since the virus started happening. And Rudy Gobert put that stunt where he had to touch all the all the microphones, and they ended up getting coronavirus, man. So are they going to play well with each other coming back into the season? Now, honestly, I think Utah has too much firepower for Oklahoma City. I think this is going to be a 6-game series, and Utah pulls it out. Like I said, we have no home court advantage. So let's continue on. We're going to go ahead and continue on with the West bracket. We're going to go ahead and go all the way till we're going to find a winner out of this. So let's continue on with my predictions I had with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Utah Jazz going into the second round. Now, Utah's going to play hard. They're going to want to beat the best. So they're going to play hard. Like I said, with no home court advantage, it's going to be tough for Utah. Utah plays really well at home. Utah fans love their Jazz. They are a wild fan base. So without that, can they really beat the Los Angeles Lakers? I don't think so. I think it's going to be another 4-1 situation for the Los Angeles Lakers. And we are going to have them move up to the Western Conference Finals. So let's continue on. So I had Denver playing the Los Angeles Clippers. This is going to be another underrated series. Jokic is very great player. But the Clippers, man, they're going to lock up Denver. I don't see Denver really going too far. And of course, we always go back to not having home court advantage, and Denver needs that. So this might be a 4-1 situation. So at the end, we have the Lakers versus the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, both LA teams. You know how great that would have been if they had the chance to really play in both of their home courts. Oh, the city of LA would go nuts. Oh my goodness, I can just see it now. One side talking crazy, the next side talking crazy. Oh, I would have loved it, being out here in SoCal, right? So, man, the Lakers and the Clippers. This is a 7-game series by far. 7-game series. That's going to be a gladiator battle. Man, I hate to say it, man. I would hate to say it, but the Lakers 4-3, 7-game series. Going 7 games and trying to beat LeBron James, who has a track record going crazy in Game 7 situations. You can't count that out at all. And I think I think the Lakers found the weakness in the Clippers. So when they played them before the NBA season was suspended. So I see the Lakers making it. to the NBA Finals. Now, if you want to go ahead and comment, please, by all means, go ahead. So let's continue on. Right? We're going to go ahead and go to the East bracket. Milwaukee, Orlando. That's a sweep waiting to happen. Milwaukee just have too much firepower. That's a sweep. Orlando stand no chance. I'm sorry. 4-0 Milwaukee by far. So let's continue on. Toronto versus Brooklyn. Now the Brooklyn Nets, we all know they have the injuries but they have some ballers on that team. Jared Allen is a very great center for Brooklyn, and Spencer Dinwiddie is a very great complementary guard to Kyrie Irving. And to be honest, I think I think Spencer Dinwiddie is a starting point guard in the NBA by far. I think he needs to go ahead and get his money by somewhere else. He's a starting point guard in this league. So, but seeing them going against Toronto, we have to see what Kyle Lowry does. I'm always going to go back to see what Kyle Lowry does. If not, we know Fred VanVleet has been an excellent backup guard for Kyrie Irving. He showed up during the finals run last year. Will he do it again? Have that same magic? People will know he's not coming out the shadows like he did last playoffs. People are gonna know his track record this year, so they're gonna try to put him in his place. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give Brooklyn. I mean, not Brooklyn. I'm gonna go ahead and give Toronto a 4-2 series win. Go ahead and get that 6 games in. Now, let's continue on. Boston and Philly, boy. Ooh. Now, this is going to be the best first round series in the playoffs for the East bracket. Wow, we're going to have a very healthy Philly team. Boston is a great defensive team. Wow. This is going to be an excellent series. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to go ahead and – this is 7. I have to say this is 7. I'm going to say it. I have to say it. Philly's going to come out with that upset. I'm going to go ahead and get 4-3 Philly. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid healthy. Tobias Harris is back. I have to go ahead and give Philly that edge. That's a 7 game. That's going to be a gladiator fight. Now we're going to go ahead and go with the 4th and 5th. We have Miami versus Indiana. The Indiana Pacers. It's another good series. This is a very underrated good series in the East. Miami's a great defensive team. You have Jay Crowder, who just came, Andre Iguodala, Hassan Whiteside is a great player, and of course Jimmy Butler is a beast. Then we have Indiana, another surprise team with Victor Oladipo injured majority of the season. He came back before the season ended, but will he be in game shape? I understand he had time to heal, and he's going to do great things for Indiana, but I don't see them beating Miami. Miami is a very underrated team, very great defensive team. So I'm going to go ahead and give Miami a 4-2 edge right there. A 4-2 edge right there. So let's continue on the second round. We have Milwaukee and Miami. That's going to be an amazing series. I believe Andre Iguodala would one of guard Giannis. Andre Iguodala is he has a long wingspan. Not athletic as he was, of course, in his Philly days, but he could still play some defense. But man, I don't see the firepower enough for Miami to be Milwaukee. I just don't see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Milwaukee a 4-2 edge right there. And then we are going to continue with our prediction. We have Toronto versus Philly. Another rematch from last year's dramatic end to Philly's season last year, with Kawhi hitting that game-winning buzzer beater. Now it's going to be different. It's going to be different. No Kawhi Leonard to really play because he balled out that series. He balled out. I think I'm going to say, y'all, I'm going to have to go ahead and give Philly the edge. I'm going to have to go ahead and give him another 4-3. Philly, another gladiator fight. Philly's going to play some expired ball. They're going to remember how they lost last year. It's going to be different. I just don't think without Kawhi Leonard that Toronto had the firepower to beat Philly. I just don't. So we have Toronto and Philly. So we have Philly winning that series. So we have Milwaukee and Philly in the conference finals, Eastern Conference Finals. Man, I don't see how you can excuse me, go against Milwaukee here. Milwaukee's a great team. They have the size to match up with Philly. That Milwaukee is a long team. Think about it. Giannis is a tall dude. Chris Middleton is a tall guy. Brook Lopez is tall. Shit. Eric Bledsoe's a big guard, big, strong dude. That's a strong team. So I'm going to go ahead and give Milwaukee a 4-2, 6-game win. So at the end of the day, we have both number one teams, Los Angeles Lakers, Milwaukee final. Now let's look into it. Milwaukee manhandled the Los Angeles Lakers in Milwaukee. That was a tough game for the Lakers. I think I kind of knew from when they was playing. I knew Milwaukee was going to beat them. Milwaukee was going to beat them in Milwaukee. Milwaukee plays very well in their home court. Now, of course, before the season suspended, the Lakers came back and they beat Milwaukee in Los Angeles. Now, granted, Milwaukee was winning in the first half. They was beating up on Milwaukee, the Lakers. Milwaukee was beating up on the Lakers, and Giannis was going off. Now when they made that switch to put LeBron James on Giannis, LeBron put that lockdown on him. LeBron put that lockdown on him. He couldn't do anything about it. And so with that being said, no home court advantage. They're playing in Orlando. This might be different. This is very different. This is a different situation. So I'm gonna have to go ahead. This is a 7-game. I see this 7-game, and I have to get the edge to Los Angeles. Have to. 4-3 Los Angeles. LeBron is LeBron. Finals LeBron. Playing like this, leading the league in assists, scoring 25 a game, getting the whole team involved. Anthony Davis, if he can remain healthy throughout the duration of the playoffs, which is always a big deal with Anthony Davis. We know his track record in his previous years of him being hurt. It's not good. It's not good. So if he can remain healthy, we're going to go ahead and give Los Angeles a 4-3 win. Champions right there, y'all. So that's it for today's show. I appreciate everybody who came to the broadcast. I appreciate everybody who shared the stream, who liked it, who commented. I appreciate all you guys for joining in. This is a very, very great show. I will be back the same time next Friday where we discuss other things in sports. We're going to add more variety of sports. Like I said, the MLS is coming back. MLS is coming back June 22nd. and then we'll dive into football. Football is slowly but surely coming into the fold. Hopefully, they do have a season, and so we're gonna figure out things. We're going to go ahead and discuss that. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody who came out to the stream. We'll be back here from 12 to 1 Pacific Standard Time, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. So, I thank you. I'll see you next week.